Hi there, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to look at this drawing in charcoal and we're going to go through some of the techniques I've used to do it using these few materials I've got in my hand. So basically we're going to be using willow charcoal, putty rubber, that's what that looks like. We're also going to be using a charcoal pencil, tortillon or blending stump, paper blending stump there, and a little bit of electric eraser which rotates, takes the charcoal off. So let's get into it. That's charcoal that I've saved from, it's not charcoal powder that I bought, that's charcoal that has come off, so off the easel. I've put that in that little jar rather than ground charcoal powder. Lighten a few areas with this, the putty rubber. To go behind here for some clouds. I like to have it quite loose like that. These are just a few techniques I use for drawings. Just it's a quick video this week because I'm busy with open studios, Christmas open studios here at Crowgy. Just shaping a few clouds, rubbing them back. This is a Fabriano drawing paper which I've got tacked to a drawing board. And this is just to give us a few sort of indications of some clouds up there behind where this tree is going to go. So we just lighten this a little bit more here so the tree can stand out a little bit more, and I'll just soften those edges. So I've decided to use not use the charcoal powder today, to tone it with a brush. I just thought I'd use my fingers. This is willow charcoal. I'm just going to tone this grass area a little bit more, make it a little bit darker here. I'm using the flat edge like that. Just tone that, and already it's started to pick up some of the texture which is underneath on the drawing board itself underneath, and that's sort of looking a bit like grass anyway, so that's quite lucky. This bit's a bit darker, so let's actually draw this in willow charcoal, medium thickness willow charcoal stick. So we want to just get some sort of edge. This is quite a nice soft willow charcoal by Coats, which I quite like. So we're just pressing quite hard here, just to give us a rough idea of this hedgerow that runs behind the tree, something like that. And basically I'm using this sort of edge here, not drawing like that, I'm just pushing in with the edge, the flat edge again of the charcoal, something like that there. Just lightly blend that in a little bit with my finger, just very light touch, finger blend in here. This could be done with a blending stump if you don't like touching the charcoal itself, but I find that just sometimes pushes it into the paper too much. and you're going to just get a different type of blend. So let's use that blending stump just very loosely to blend a few bits in here and push it into the paper. Not pressing too hard, just to increase the texture there. We can do the same up here in the clouds. We want to soften these areas off so we haven't got so much texture in the sky. That's probably a good idea actually. So let's push that in a little bit. Once you push that in to the paper, into the fibres of the paper, it's a lot harder to remove, so just bear that in mind when you're using the tortillon blending stump. Get that putty rubber back again, just pull it out, find a clean area like that, and just push in again, just remove a little bit, get some of those whites of the paper back a little bit for the clouds. So a lot of these things are just sort of, they just become automatic as you do more drawing. You're just feeling your way around. There's no sort of definite way to do anything. Let's start drawing that tree in. That's why we're here. So this time I'll use a thinner willow charcoal stick. We're going to put the tree here. We're using the end this time, holding it right at the end, so we've got quite a nice loose grip, and we're not pressing too hard because it will break if we do. So we're just getting a little feel for where this tree is going to go. This is really just a practice piece, just showing you, to try and demo some of these techniques that I use. Give you an idea how to create these trees and things. What I like to do is you let the twist it, and it makes it, because it's not straight, look, this is a burnt piece of wood. I like to twist it. There you go, one's gone. Let's find another one. Twist it to create these branches at this stage, so it's sort of got its own life, if that makes sense. And they break really easily. And what we'll do later, we'll use some charcoal pencils to redefine some of these thinner branches that we might want as it goes further up the tree. At the moment we're just looking for some marks to give us a guide. Let's use this Tombow eraser, hard eraser, just to bring that edge back there so we can see where this part of the tree is, this side of the trunk. And we'll make a darker mark here. Now we just darken this hedgerow here a little bit in places. And we've got a little area here which is like let's do the whole thing here. We've got a bush, you see here, which comes in front. Something like that. You blend that through. That comes to about here and comes down like this and then disappears over there. Something like that. And we've got some more bushes. A couple of bushes there and a bit of a tree and a bush there. So what we'll do, put that on the edge. This is more of a shrubby type of tree. Putty rubber again. We just want a bit of an edge on it this time. Just going to take a bit off here because this is the field in between these two. So we want sort of like a triangular shape here. And we just use that, push that in really loosely, so hold it like this and get some loose marks to help with the texture in the foreground here. And then with the Tombow, we're just going to rub out a few very quick marks here to help get some idea of what's going on here. This sort of scrubby tree and this sort of scrubby area here. So these are all very random marks, but it's got branches and all sorts of things in there, stones. And we'll do the same here. So this needs to be darker. So it goes up a bit there, which is quite nice. Then that gives us something to work into then. Same on that bit. So we just rub this Tombow hard eraser again, so we can hold it quite close to the edge for any marks, like let's say hard edges like very much there. We can hold it right at the end where we want loose marks and just have a lighter touch like that. Then we're going to go with a little craft knife. We're just gently, all this is doing, it's not scraping anything off, it's just removing those bits that have been left behind by the rubbing out with the eraser. That's all that's doing. Fine charcoal stick. We start developing this tree a bit more. This time we want, where the branches get really fine, at the top of the tree and the edges, you get this like halo top effect. And so we're just going to draw into that and smudge a little bit with my finger. Get some darks down here, more in the foreground. This needs to be a bit darker. With the thin willow charcoal. Again, we're just making random marks. So we're working really quickly and add to the looseness of the drawing at this stage. But we'll slow down a bit in a minute when we just want to define it a little bit more. Just push that across there again. There's branches and all sorts of things in this real tangle of stones and plants and things. A few stones that have fallen out of the wall, you see, dotted around. Just take a little bit of this off here with the putty rubber. Some undergrowth coming off here now. Just put a few marks in to indicate some branches, and here we've got this tree. I'll just put a few marks in with this thin willow stick, and then I'll start to use the charcoal pencil in there, I think, afterwards. A few more in here now with this one again. I just want to try and work on this shape of this tree here now. So get this, and it's just start to blend in a little bit this halo again. Try and redefine the outline of this tree. Because like this is the, and then it goes out, and these branches get a lot thinner, so the halo top effect isn't there then, over there. And don't forget my Kickstarter for my book. If you're interested in helping fund my latest book. The Kickstarter started on the 28th of November, and we've got 30 days to fund the printing of the book. And then if you donate, you will get a copy of the book. There's a few categories which you can sign up for, and you'll get your copy sent to you or picked up from the studio if you're local. And that'd be great if you could help. I'd appreciate your support. Right, let's just have a little look, see what we're looking like. What you've got here, you've got a charcoal General's HB hard charcoal pencil here. Just going to clean it a little bit. I'm just going to start pushing this a little bit now. So we're pushing from, hold it at the edge so it's nice loose grip. I'm going to just gently push up. So they're all nice loose branch marks, especially at the top. It's a real tangle. Like this. And just take that down there as well. So we're sort of twisting as well, this sort of twisting technique like this. And we're pushing and not pressing too hard, so we're letting the pencil do all the work. We just want these sort of random shaped branches. We can press a little bit harder here, for instance, and get some darker marks. You might be able to hear that pressing quite hard onto the paper there. Here we want a darker mark, so we scribble into there. We just push a few through here. A few darks. I want these to be sort of not too obvious in there because I don't want them to detract from the main tree. We push a few marks over here as well, dark ones, slightly thicker branches. Like this. Back with the Tombow. Remember, some of these branches will be in the light, you see, so we want to scribble through there a little bit. We'll take a few off now. Just, you know, like I said before, it's just you're constantly backwards and forwards with your materials, your rubber, your eraser and your charcoal. Let's just back in here now. We just need to make a little bit more sense of this bit here. So I'm going to use the putty rubber just to try and take some of this out here. So you can see that this actually comes up like this in front of there. A little bit. Let's go back in with the charcoal pencil over here a little bit, just to finish this one off a little bit more. See, it's quite scratchy, this one. It's quite a hard charcoal pencil. You feel it a little bit more scratchy, but that's what I want. I don't want the marks to be too sort of, I don't want a soft one in there which leaves lots of dark marks. I want it to be quite scratchy, so it gives the impression of this tree. Something like that. Let's have a little look, see what we've got. Right, let's just draw back in here. A couple of darks in there. Use the flat edge of that charcoal just there. I think I'm going to take that up. I want these to be in there, not in front of it, you see. Now I've got to just rub a few bits out on here. Let's just sort of bring this across a little bit more, like this, a little bit darker, I think. So this bit here, I'm going to take across to about here, now like that. You know how many times I've broken this charcoal, this thing using the thin sticks. Now I think that'll do. I think it's a bit like just a little sketch. Let's just open this up a little bit. I can see a few areas. What I want to do is just open a few areas up of the tree. There's a few areas where there's no entanglement, not quite so much of an entanglement. Let's try that, see if that helps. Something like that there, might be quite nice. And again, blade just to take off some of that, some of those bits, gently, from the rubber. Right, let's have a look, see what we got. Get rid of that charcoal off my hands now. Hope you enjoyed that video there. Just a quick tree study in this Cornish hedge, which is they're made of stone with the vegetation which grows on the top. So basically it's a stone wall filled with mud, and then the vegetation grows out of the middle of it. So it's quite interesting. I think it's quite unique to Cornwall, and these trees grow out of them. And here we've got this little track here where these horses have basically knocked it down and galloped on through. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that one. Don't forget the Kickstarter scheme. I've already mentioned it in the commentary as I was going through the drawing, but if you're interested in funding this book, let me just find it for you. Where was I? Yeah, don't forget the Kickstarter scheme. I'm going to try and make this, would like to make this into a book which would be available for you to buy. So basically if you donate into the Kickstarter scheme, which is running from the 28th of November. We've got 30 days to raise the money to print the book, basically. So we're going to make this into a printed book. So you'll end up having this on your coffee table with all these lovely sketches in there. 78 sketches, 76 done outside, 2 were done inside because it was too wet. Anyway, I really enjoyed this sketchbook a lot, and I'd love to make it into a book and share it with you. We've included the shipping in some of the options you've got on the Kickstarter. So if you want to contribute, that would be fantastic. I'd really appreciate it. We can get that into print and have it out in the new year. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. All the best, and bye for now. See you next time.